Amazing venue. I mean, the atmosphere is off the scale. We're here in beautiful Vaucluse, Provence, between the majestic Rhone River and the legendary Mont Ventoux, which, when we look across the track, we can see just about over these immense crowds. I mean, they are so loud.
Oh, they've been absolutely on fire today, our French fans. And you can see them, they're absolutely getting into the atmosphere. We've had a rousing rendition of the French national anthem. The fans are definitely on it today here in Sarrians. I am so looking forward to the noise they're going to produce later on.
I think we're going to hear some of the best noise from the crowd, some of the best atmosphere. And of course, we've had some great action already during the day when we've been having the opening rounds. But it's all, of course, nestled here in Vaucluse, Provence, an area that is known for not just its wine and its scenery and its BMX racing, but lots of great history as well. As you can see, the historic bridge that heads out in over onto the Rhone, just part of the medieval architecture that is here, the Palais de Pape, the papal residence in the period in the Middle Ages when the Rhone was just considered just too hot for the papal see. The Pope was actually coming and living here in Avignon, and Avignon pretty much equidistant from where we are with Mont Ventoux as well, and the whole of this plains and area seeded with grapevines, some amazing wine produced in the region. And of course you can sample that at the local cafes, at the restaurants and at the bars as well, in and around the area. And of course, don't forget, if you've got a bike, if you want to head out, it is an amazing area. You can take your bike on the river boats and head out, whether you're on a BMX, a mountain bike, or on a road bike. There's something for everybody. But today, of course, it's BMX, and we are really looking forward to this. The weather is, as we would say, cracking the flags.
Yeah, cracking the flags, Matt. 24 degrees, 14 km/h wind, which is just enough, but most importantly, bright and sunny and warm, and the action is just going to get hotter than the temperatures themselves. It's going to be so good, and I really can't wait for round number 6 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup.
And we've done really well. We've had some brilliant weather so far, pretty much, and with perhaps one very obvious exception. And it means that we've had some great racing. And as you can see, the women under 23 standings are headed by Tessa Martinez. Riders who are not here in the women's under 23, well, Cingolani is probably the one that sticks out the most.
Yes, Francesca Cingolani's moved up to Women Elite this weekend. Mackenzie Gayhart, unfortunately, not here as well. So that's going to mix things up a little bit.
Rico Behrman heads up the men's under 23 standings. And again, we're seeing that movement, aren't we, in the men's under 23 standings, with people moving up through. Molina doing the same.
Yeah, Maurizio Molina's moved up to Men Elite and he wants to give it a go, so let's see what happens.
In the women's elite, well, Bethany Shriver, no surprises for her being at the top of the standings after what has been a dominant first part of the season, including that World Championships. Mariana Pahal.
No, Mariana's not racing this weekend, so that'll change things up a little bit, but there's going to be plenty of action regardless.
And then, of course, into the men's home track for Romain Mayo here, the series leader, the world champion. And again, missing one of the riders in the top 8 in the shape of Isaac Kennedy, not here.
No, Isaac's sustained quite a serious knee injury and he's recovering back in Australia. We wish him all the best and hopefully he's back with us soon.
Yeah, can't wait to see him back in action. Now, we have alluded to the fact that we have managed, unfortunately, to have one round with bad weather, and that was the last round. That was round number 5, and that was a round where we had some incredibly windy weather. As you can see, the flags are flying. It was so windy yesterday, in fact, that it was considered to be too windy for racing, and the decision was made to cancel the race and the whole of round 5 due to the weather conditions. A very tough decision made by the organisation and by the UCI. Let's hear from the man who had to make that decision. It's Norm McCann.
Well, Norm, the day has been cancelled here in Sarrians. Just explain the decision for us.
Look, it's been a really tough decision for us here. The weather is looking fantastic, but unfortunately the wind conditions are such that we just can't be, for the safety of our riders, take on the competition today.
What sort of considerations go into a very difficult decision like this?
Look, there's so many different parties involved. We have everyone from the organiser right through to the athletes who are competing here today. So we have to look at everybody's interests before we make these decisions.
Well, great to hear from Norm there, who explained just why we had to say that rider safety is paramount, and basically the riders were getting blown off the track if they weren't careful with the strength of the wind, and it didn't show any sign of dying down. However, today, that has gone, it's disappeared, and as you can see, it's pretty warm stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely heating up here in Sarrians in the south of France, and our riders getting ready to go here. Joris Dode warming up, and Laura Smulders all smiles there with Sister Merrill. Nick Kimmen just coming off track, assisted by Rich Townsend, his mechanic, and everybody just getting themselves set. And there is one of our winners from Papendal. That was Saya Sakakibara.
Well, let's see how she gets on with the rest of the riders. Now, first up will be the under-23 women's. The first of our quarterfinals. Standout names in this for you. Rich, who's hot favourite to go through here?
I'd be keeping my eye on Michelle Vissing and Emily Hutt of Great Britain, who took a silver medal in the World Championships.
So our riders lined up and ready for the gate. Rich is going to take you through all of our race action.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
All right, here we go. This is quarterfinal number 1 for the women under 23, heading down the hill towards turn number 1. Who's going to get that whole shot into the first turn? Looks like the rider out of the Netherlands. That is Michelle Vissing leading it through. Where is Emily Hutt? She's in there in 4 at the minute for Great Britain and looking very, very good. Working her way up into that second spot. There's a big battle going on for the third between Pascal and Julia Buta in there too. So as they go towards the final corner, Emily Hutt looking good in that second position, chasing down Michelle Vissing. And as they head towards the line, Vissing is going to get it. It's going to go Vissing, Hutt, going 1 and 2. Julia Buta's going to go through in that third spot as well. And I've got a feeling going through in 4th was Tegan Pascal of Canada. Great racing there and a good start for Emily Hutt of Great Britain. So Michelle Vissing immediately swapping over onto a different bike with that tall seat post on, just cooling down those legs, getting rid of the lactic acid and doing what needs to be done to be prepared for the next round.
And that gate is so critical, isn't it? I mean, we see as she came down, Michelle Vissing there, 2.544 coming down through from the start, and she really just hammered that home all the way to the finish.
Yeah, she looked very good and in control. Emily Hutt just getting a little bit sideways there as she jumped over into that second turn. But she'd recovered her momentum and her composure by the time they got to the final corner, and Buta and Pascal were battling as they came towards the line. They knew they were through in that 3rd and 4th position, but it's great starts for Vissing and Hutt.
Well, great start in the first of our heats. We're going to move on to heat number 2. And in here we see Tessa Martinez lined up. But before we get there, let's take a look at the confirmed result. It has been confirmed. Vissing, Hutt, Buta and Pascal going through. The rest of the riders, their day is done. Basically, really simple, even for me. Top 4 through, top 4, the bottom 4 go out. So
yeah,
top 4
that's it. Their day is done.
Final.
And that is Tessa Martinez, the world champion, took that title in Glasgow in August. She's primed and ready to go there, proudly wearing the rainbow jersey, which is only awarded to a world champion. So our next quarterfinal for the women under 23, we've got Renske van Sanfort in this one as well. Alina Beck of Germany, who came through via the last chance qualifier. Laura Mouget in there as well, and Caral Moustier, both of France. They'll be looking to keep the home fans happy, but certainly we'll have our eye on Tessa Martinez and also the former world pump track champion, Aiko Gomez of Belgium. You can never count her out in a World Cup quarterfinal.
Lots of great riders. This should be a cracker. Could be the heat of the quarterfinals, given who's lined up in here in the under-23. They're on the gate, and really just going to be held, I think, for a short while. So let's just see how we're going. So at the moment, just going to watch the teams and the crowds with our cameras, and that is quite something, because we've seen some great engagement. You'll notice a number of these youngsters, they've got signatures on their jerseys, and that is because we had a monster, probably the most mammoth signing session at round number 5, where we had pretty much all of the stars engaging with all the local kids.
Yeah, definitely. All the riders lined up behind those tables. The local organisers were giving out free posters to all the kids, and they took every opportunity to get every signature and photo they possibly could. I'm sure there was some elite riders with very sore hands after signing so many posters yesterday.
Yeah, you want to sign almost with your hand that wasn't your brake hand almost, because of the volume. I mean, we're not just talking. If you can imagine that the entire crowd up there were there getting signatures, it's pretty much that volume non-stop for about an hour. Now, okay, the riders back down on to the gate. Our riders are being lined up and ready. We've run you through the starters in this. The second of our heats. So Martinez, Van Sanfort, Gomez, Beck, Fair Mercado. It's going to be Carlos Garcia, Mouget and Moustier. They're going to be the riders going through. Hot favourite is going to be Tessa Martinez. But as Rich has pointed out, lots of very strong riders here today. So your riders lined up. Gate number 1 is the one they all want.
Yep, Tessa Martinez just lining up there, and she's ready to
Okay,
go.
riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Quarterfinal number 2 for the women under 23 heading down the hill. Oh, Van Sanfort very nearly got it wrong as they went over that first jump. Martinez on the inside, and Lena Beck's trying to get through from about 6th at the moment, but it is the world champion Tessa Martinez leading it out. Van Sanfort looking like she's getting boxed on the inside as they go into that second turn. It's a big mix-up as they get in there. Martinez still leading it out though. Van Sanfort steadied herself. I think that's Mougier in that 4th spot at the moment. So the French riders trying to get what they want, and which is petitioned through into the next round. But it's going to be Tessa Martinez who's going to take it across the line. The world champion takes the win in that quarter-final. Van Sanfort, Gomez, and it was Laura Mouget of France going through in that 4th spot. A great lap from her.
And that was not the fastest start that we have seen by anybody, by any stretch of the imagination for Tessa Martinez. But she showed why she is the champion, because she then recovered from that. Let's have a look back at this start.
Yeah, Tessa Martinez looked good. It was Renska Van Sanfort. She got a little bit out of control going over that first jump towards turn number 1. Alina Beck was trying to work her way across, and Moustier and Mouget were in there making moves as well. But by the time they got to the second turn, Tessa Martinez was out in front and in control. She took the win, but Laura Mouget, the other French rider, going through in that 4th spot, and that's the only place you need to be, inside the top 4.
Yeah, actually Van Sanfort with the fastest start off the ramp there. So Martinez coming back from that and able to take a top spot. So it's confirmed it is Martinez in 1, Van Sanfort in 2, Gomez in 3, and Mouget in 4. And that means there are riders who will move through from our quarterfinals into our semi-finals. So 2 of the 4 quarterfinals done, halfway through the first of our raft of races, and we're going to move into heat number 3, the 3rd of those quarterfinals. Anyone stand out here who couldn't, who if they got through, you'd be shocked here?
Well, you've got Indy Keepers in there of the Netherlands. She's been a junior world champion before, and Sienna Harvey, one of the up-and-coming riders from Great Britain in this category. But definitely keep your eye on that lady on the screen. That was Ava Corley right there on the inside.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Gate drops on the 3rd of these quarterfinals as they head down the hill. Sienna Harvey of Great Britain looked like she got a good start. She's inside the top 4 at the moment. Ava Corley right there taking the whole shot though. It looks like Corley and Wall Ravens going 1 and 2 at the minute. The Colombian in there in 3. That's going to be Martinez Agudelo as they go towards turn number 2. And Ava Corley of Team USA leading it out. Keepers in that 2nd spot. Manikova's gone through into the top 4. Where is Sienna Harvey of Great Britain? Back there in about 5 or 6 and pushing hard, looking for a position as they go in and out. Corley streaking away in this one. She's going to cross that line first. Ava Corley of the USA opening her bank account of this race with a superb win. Agudelo in 3, Manikova in 4, and Sienna Harvey getting the dreaded 5th place.
Well, Corley was in a different time zone there. I think she was so far in front and really, really impressive. Now, great shot there, just showing us the change over of the saddle, just so the riders can sit on that saddle and actually spin their legs around a little bit easier than just having the straight race bike. We're going to get the results on screen. And there we go, confirmed that it's Corley, Sheepers, Martinez Agudelo, and Manikova who are going through. Very, very quick round. Again, seeing some fairly consistent times for the 3 heats so far. Not much variation in those times, which promises that we're going to have a great semi-finals, but who's going to be in there? We wait to find out. The road's already set and good to go. Is Stariska going to be your pick here?
Yeah, I'd certainly keep my eye on Veronica Stariska and Megan Williams of New Zealand. She was looking relaxed. I had a quick chat with her earlier on, and she was certainly look forward to the day's racing.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
And the gate drops on the last of the quarterfinals for the women under 23, and it is Veronika Stariska of Latvia on the inside, taking the whole shot as they go into turn number 1. Gommers making a move as well. Robin Gommers out of Belgium. She's there inside the top 3 as they head towards turn number 2. So the Latvians certainly in control in this one. Gommers is putting a great performance in. I'm just keeping a close eye on where Megan Williams is. She's back there in about 5 at the moment, so she's really going to have to make some moves because Voss and Hapke and Favrel are up in front, and she's got to get around all of them as they come in and out the final corner. Megan Williams making a move down the final straight. She might have left herself a bit too much to do as they get to the line. Stariska gets it. Stariska takes the win. Hapke, Voss and Favrel. Oh, a photo finish with Megan Williams. It'll be interesting to see the result when it comes through.
I think that's going to be incredibly close. I mean, Williams looked like she was the rider on the charge there, but had she done enough? We wait for the confirmed result to come through on that. Very, very interesting start there by Stariska. She got off well. That inside line, gate 1, it's a super short straight. Does that mean that riders like Stariska, who goes through in top spot from heat 4 with Hapke, Vossen and Favrel, does that shorter straight mean it's even more important to have gate number 1?
Yeah, it definitely means it's more important to be on the inside. You know, you've got riders like Neat Kimman who specialise in going from gate 8, and the shorter the first straight is, the harder it becomes. So certainly with the short first straight, it's very, very important. As we move on to the quarterfinals for the men under 23, Steiner, Teblin, Kellier in there as well, Zian Lemay, Marek Neusel and Connie Perrin all in the mix, but plenty of French representation in this men under 23 category. And we look at Philipp Steiner, the world champion who took that victory in Glasgow last month.
So our riders are lined up on the screen, lined up on the gate, ready to go.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
First of the quarterfinals for the men under 23. Steiner was making his move down that first straight towards turn number 1, but he's got a posse of Frenchmen all over the back of him, including Zian Lemay and Gregory Kellier in there as well. But it's Steiner, the world champion, leading into that second turn. Kellier's in there as well. Zian Lemay is going to try and make his move. Teblin and Jacquet are 3 and 4 at the moment, and there's moves being made as they come down through the rhythm section into the final corner. But it's Steiner, Philipp Steiner in control. Marek Neusel looks like he's been pushed up the berm. Who's going to get it at the line? Steiner goes through and gets it. The world champion takes the win. Kellier, Jacquet and Connie Perrin going through. Zian Lemay, one rider I had my eye on. He went out in 5, and Marek Neusel's hopes ended in that final corner.
Well, the world champion showing just why he's wearing those rainbow stripes. He was really on form. Absolutely loved watching the coverage from the World Championships, and he did look just so good. He's just continued that.
Yeah, he's looking great. He's under the watchful eye of David Graff, who's known for his scientific approach to coaching, and certainly it's paying off for Philipp Steiner as he takes the win in the first of the quarterfinals for the men under 23. Kellier, Jacquet and Arnaud Connie Perrin going through inside the top 4, and Zian Lemay and everybody else. Unfortunately, their day is done. They are going to have to come back for the next round number 7.
Yeah, get some Fritz, get on the stands and cheer on their teammates if they can find a space anywhere here. We're going to move on to the second of our quarterfinals. And who stands out here for you, Rich? Anybody in particular?
Yeah, you've got a couple of standouts here. You've got Thomas Maturano of Argentina, who took a junior world title in Glasgow, and certainly the other rider to keep an eye on, I think, will be Tatiana Louis-Hinsan.
Wait.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Well, that was a close call for Thomas Maturano of Argentina. He just about got his foot clipped in the pedal before the cadence started, and he's certainly not stopped him because he's leading into turn number 1. Maturano looking very, very good. Jesse Asmus in there as well. That's James Cutter-Williams, I think, of the USA, who's in there in that 4th position right now. And I'm looking for Tatiana Louis-Hinsan trying to make some moves in the corners. And as they go down the straight towards that final turn, Cutter-Williams in that final qualifying spot. Maturano leading it out of the final corner as they come down the final straight. The French fans going absolutely wild. Maturano's going to take it to the line. Maturano gets it. Langman is Jesse Asmus of Australia going through. Tatiana Louis-Hinsan, a photo finish with Justin Cutter-Williams, and very big shocking in that Casper Peepers is out in the quarterfinal stage.
And that's something we didn't expect. Given that he's second in the standings, in the World Cup standings, that is not going to do him much help at all, because whilst Rico Behrman is so far clear up at the top of the standings, a battle in second, third, fourth, fifth, all the way down pretty much to about 11th place. He's still wide open.
It's definitely wide open, and like you said, Rico Behrman's out in front in that category, but these guys, they want to gain as many World Cup points as they can possibly get and just build that experience. And Casper Peepers, you know, he was on the podium at Papendal in the last stop of the World Cup Tour, and now he's out in the quarterfinals today here in Sarrians in France.
So his big points total will take a hit because of that. Let's get those results confirmed, and it is going to be Louis Hinsan going through, and it's Williams who doesn't make the cut. You can see though that was very, very close indeed. Fractions of a second separating the qualifying, and it is those top 4 places our riders in heat number 3 will want to take here. Radielli has surely got to be pretty much the top pick in here. Is there anybody going to upset his party here?
Yeah, I've got my eye on Hugo Marzalac of France. He's been European champion, and yeah, certainly want to watch, especially as we are racing in France.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
So Hugo Marzalac of France there in gate number 3 in the grey gear with the yellow writing as they head towards turn number 1, but it looks like Stauffacher is going to take the whole shot. Yeah, he's in there in 1. Marcus Leth of Denmark in 3. Radaeli, the 2018 junior world champion, he's in there in that 4th spot as they head into the corner. In and out they go. Radaeli still holding on to that position, but he's under pressure from Burrell as they go down towards the final corner. In and out they go. Stauffacher still in the lead. Leth looking good in that 3rd spot. Radiel is going to make it in 4. Radiel is going to go through. Radielli in that 4th spot, the 2021 junior world champion, goes through, and Marzalac, our guy to watch, out in 5.
Well, your guy to watch, I'm taking that, you know, and a win's a win, and I'm taking a qualification there. But what a ride there by Stauffacher going through. And you know, you've been out watching. Did he look like that good when he was out in the previous earlier rounds? You know, when he was out on round 1, had he been looking so dominant?
Yeah, he's been looking good all day long, and him and Philipp Steiner, they probably trained together, and certainly with the time of 32 seconds dead for that quarterfinal, he's looking good for a final spot later on.
So those top 4 positions are key. Now, Rico Behrman, the series leader, the man who pretty much is the man to beat this season. It has, you know, it has to be possible, but so far, in terms of World Cups, perfect score. He's got to be hot favourite.
He's going to be the hot favourite, but Matteo Colsone came so close to beating him in Papendal. He's here in front of the home crowd. He's got a point to prove, and let's see if he can make it stick. So Behrman on the inside next to Julian Beisterbosch, who was the 2022 junior world champion, and he's now looking to make his mark in the under-23s.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
So the last of the quarterfinals for the men under 23, heading down the hill. Colsone in the middle, but Behrman already out front and in control, dragging those riders out by a bike length as they go in and out of turn number 1. Beisterbosch in there in 2, Matteo Colsone in 3. Capello's trying to make his move as well as they go into the 2nd turn, but it's all about the rider from New Zealand, Rico Behrman, out in front. Beisterbosch is about 2.5 bike lengths behind now. Colsone is looking to make a move in that final corner. He's safe in that 3rd spot. Moves being made. The French are trying to get in there. It's the other rider getting in, and it's going to be Goossens, I think, who goes through in that 4th spot. Beisterbosch, Colsone, Genestroni just stealing it from Goossens as they got across the line. A last gasp dive, and he took it.
You can see, even for the very best of the best, just how tough that is. Breathing hard there, sucking up the oxygen. Let's take a look back at this. And Behrman, I mean, that start is good, but he just continues that power right the way down that first straight.
Absolutely, under the watchful eye of Kurt Pickard, his coach, and they're certainly doing the right things. Colsone coming through in that 3rd spot, and a nice nod of the head from Julian Beisterbosch. He knew he was through at that point.
Well, the crowds are treated to some fantastic racing so far here. That's the men's quarterfinals complete. Heat 4 with Bevan Blish, followed by Costany and Jenna Stroni going through to French in that final quarterfinal for the under 23 men, which means that we're going to move on to our women's elite and the first of the heats. Does it get any better than this? Bethany Shriver.
Yeah, there's definitely some heavy hitters in this one. Bethany Shriver, the world and Olympic champion, but we see the return of Manon Valentino, which will definitely keep the French fans happy. And Camille Meurs in there as well, and Molly Simpson of Canada.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Women elite leaving the gate, quarter-final number 1. Bethany Shriver, the world champion. She's been in majestic form in the last couple of months by taking that title out in Glasgow. And look at the gap she's opened up already. Bethany Shriver, 4 to 5 bike lanes clear as they go into turn number 2. So it looks like she's got this one wrapped up. Camille Meurs in there in 2. Simpson in 3. Valentino in 4. That looks like the American rider trying to get in. That's going to be Delaney Vaughan in there in 5. So can Vaughan make the move down the final straight? She's coming up on the back of Valentino. Valentino and Vaughan to the line. Who's going to get into the stripe? Oh, it's going to be so close. I've got a feeling Delaney Vaughan got it. Yes, she did. She was back there in 5, and she reeled Manon Valentino in down that final straight and stole that last position just at the line.
Well, the world champion doing the business once again. That number 1 on her back. What a start by her. And yet, it wasn't at the maiden, was it? It was just that run through the turn. It's the ability and the amount of power she puts down in such a short space of time.
Yeah, Bethany's track speed there, absolutely superb. You know, she was 5 bike lanes clear by the time they got to the second turn. There was nobody near us to cross the line. And meanwhile, Delaney Vaughan was stealing that 4th spot.
Well, the GB coaches will indeed be happy as they look on at the side of the teams with their own dedicated area. And it is Shriver who's going to take top spot from Meurs, followed by Simpson and Vaughan. They're your qualifiers in heat number 1. We're going to move on to heat number 2 very shortly indeed as the mountains look down on the track here. That's not 1.2, by the way, in the background. That's too small. It's much bigger than that, believe me. I've been sat here looking across over the track and thinking, I'm glad I don't have to ride up that and just ride down. But the ramp here will feel just as big for our riders that are all lined up, I think, ready to go.
Yep, 2 Australians on the inside. Sayasa Kakibara, who's spent a lot of time in this region with Romain Mayu, spent a lot of time training at this track. Lauren Reynolds in there as well, and one of our whole shot specialists, Elise Willoughby of the USA in gate number 3.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
So Olympians and training partners Elise Willoughby and Lauren Reynolds in gates 2 and 3, and Elise has got a good start, and Saya's on the inside and she's going to take the whole shot. So Sayasa Kakibara took a win at Papendal, and she's looking to carry that form on as we go through round number 6 here in Sarrians in France. Willoughby pursuing her in there in that second spot as they go in and out of the turn. Looks like the Japanese rider Kanami Tano's in that 3rd position, and Lauren Reynolds is in 5th and looking for a 4th as they go into the final corner. Who's got that final spot? It looks like the rider out of Switzerland. That's Nadine Eberhard. Eberhard might be going through in that final qualifying position. Lauren Reynolds is out in the quarter-finals. Sayasa Kakibara takes the win. Elise Willoughby in 2, and Singalani's first elite women race comes to an end in the quarters.
But still a great way to start coming through and making it to the quarterfinals. You move up because that transition is always tough. Just talk us through this race. I mean, we saw Kakibara just a little bit off on that landing there just as she came down, but didn't phase her.
Yeah, she gave herself a little bit of room, and Elise Willoughby was chasing her into that second corner. Really impressed to see Kanami Tano of Japan in that 3rd position. She looked smooth and in control. Eberhard was coming through as well, and I think Lauren Reynolds knew at that point her day was done, and that wry little nod of the head just says, oh, it wasn't quite what I wanted.
So our riders are completing their run. Those that have finished will be warming down. They'll be making sure they get all that lactic acid out of the legs, and that's going to apply for our riders who haven't qualified. But Kakibara with Willoughby, Eberhard and Tano going through from that heat here in Sarrians as we line up ready for our next of our heats here in our elite women's competition.
Yeah, Zoe Claessens and the former elite world champion Felicia Stansel. She's there on that 23 plate in gate number 4. But certainly the rider to watch in this one is Zoe Claessens on the inside. She spent a lot of that time at this track under the watchful eye of Liam Phillips, and she's even running the 65 as her number.
Random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Quarterfinal 3 underway, women elite, and it is Zoe Claessens of Switzerland, the European champion, who's going to lead it into turn number 1. Felicia's right there behind her in that second position. The Dutch rider going through is Judy Bow. Judy in that third spot right now, and Gabriela Bolle Carrillo of Colombia in 4, but out in front as expected. Zoe Claessens starting to open the lead now of about 4 bike lengths over Felicia Stansel, the former world champion, as they go into the final corner. Claessens in control, Stansel in 2, Judy Bow in 3. Gabriela Bolle Carrillo, she's going to go through in 4. Peyton Ridenauer looking like the unlucky rider in 5, but what a lap from Zoe Claessens. She's got this track absolutely wired and knows it like the back of her hand.
Yeah, certainly looked very smooth out there, very much in control in heat 3. As we see the team managers, the coaches watching on. Just taking a look back at this, that gate coming straight out from there so quickly. She was never in trouble. No,
she wasn't. And Peyton Ridenauer, who was right next to her in gate number 2, that first straight couldn't have been worse for her, going slightly sideways out of the gate and then struggling over that first jump. She'll have to come back next time around and try and make it work in round number 7. But meanwhile, Zoe Claessens was taking the win. She knew exactly what she needed to do. Felicia Stansel safe in that second spot, and they go through to the semi-finals.
So here we go. The results are confirmed. Claessens, Stansel, Bow and Bolle Carrillo going through. And the time there, 33.978 for Zoe Claessens. Will that time be beaten by the riders in heat number 4?
Yeah, heat 4 containing the Smulders sisters, Laura and Merrill. They're in gates 1 and 2. Axel Etienne in 3, and it's nice to see Elke van Hoof of Belgium back on track. She's on that 91 plate in gate number 5, and she's capable of making it through any given race at any given moment.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Last of the quarterfinals for the women elite, heading down the hill. Oh, Merrill Smulders of the Netherlands moving across, and she's going to lead her sister Laura into the corner. Elke van Hoof in there in 3. Where is Dominica Azuero? Back there in about 5 of the minute as they head into that second turn. Lexis Colby of the USA trying to get in there as well, but the Smulders sisters are leading it out. Axel Etienne up into that 4th position, chasing down Elke van Hoof into the final corner, but there's no doubt who is out in front. Merrill Smulders, Laura Smulders going 1 and 2. They've already taken World Championships 1 and 2 in 2018, but they go 1 and 2 in the quarterfinal here in the World Cup in Sarrians. Elke van Hoof in that 3rd spot, Axel Etienne in 4.
Great ride by both of the Smulders there, and really almost a class part. That gap that they generated by the time we came into the final straight was so substantial. They were back enough. They were pretty much easy. They knew they had that gap. They could feel that. That's experience.
Yeah, Merrill's start was absolutely superb. Drifted out a little bit towards Elke van Hoof, but she just gave herself the perfect line into the corner. Laura just tucked in behind her, knew what she needed to do, just hold on until they got to that finish line, and the battle was going on. Elke van Hoof getting slightly out of control down that 3rd straight. Axel Etienne behind. Lexis Colby had it all to do as they came to the line. She didn't have enough time. She was about a bike and a half behind Axel Etienne, and her day is done.
So we have now completed all of our elite women's quarterfinals. So that's the final one, heat number 4, with both our Smulders sisters, Merrill and Laura, joined by Elke van Hoof and Axel Etienne. And that means that we will be moving from our women elite to the men's elite quarterfinals once again. And in the first of those quarterfinals, well, it's a who's who.
It definitely is. We've got Joris Dode in there. He's been absolutely on fire all day long. He just gets better and better, and I'm really pleased to see the return of Mathis Rago Richard of France as well. He suffered a serious injury. He's back on the bike, and let's see what he's got.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Well, gates 1, 2 and 3 in this quarter-final contain enough watts to power a small town as they head towards turn number 1. Sarrians trying to tuck himself in there, but as predicted, the French are going 1 and 2 in this one as they head down towards the corner. Renkerel in there. Where is Cameron Larson of the USA? France are going 1, 2 and 3. Sarrians worked his way in. Martin Bogart's just been passed, I think, for that final spot in the semi-finals, but Joris Dode leading it in and out of the turn. It's going to be Dode, Renkerel, Garayan to the cheers of the fans. 1, 2 and 3 cross the line. Who's going to get that 4th spot? Mathis, Rago, Richard, Quillan Isidore of Great Britain, unfortunately out in 7, but it was all about keeping the French fans happy in quarter-final number 1.
What a result. The top 4 places are taken provisionally until we get the results confirmed by 4 French riders. They know this track inside out. Great start by all of them, pretty much. But the battle behind in that 4th, 5th, 6th place, really tight coming into the second of the straights.
Oh yeah, Mathis Rago Richard practically table-topped over that middle jump in the pro section on the second straight. How he held on to it, I've got no idea, but he did enough to get himself to that line. And yeah, it was a France 1, 2, 3, 4. And I've got a feeling we might be hearing some more singing from our French fans a bit later on.
So, I don't think you're going to be wrong at all. And speaking of the French 1, 2, 3, 4, just waiting for the official result. Then we'll be on with the second of our heats. So here we go. The results are confirmed as expected. The 4 Frenchmen through on the top. Belgium, Argentina, Great Britain and the United States of America rounding out the 8 there. But it's only the French who make it through to the semi-finals. Now, on to the next heat, and we know the stadium is going to explode. Homeboy, home race.
Yes, absolutely. Romain Mayeux, the world champion on his home track here in Sarrians. This is the rider that everybody here has come to see, and they want to see if he can take this quarter-final. He's got his work cut out. He's got Diego Arboleda next to him, Simon Marquardt in there as well, and you can never count out Cedric Bouty.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Second quarter-final, many leads heading down the hill. Oh, Arboleda moved across and wanted to cut off Romain Mayeux into the corner. So now Romain Mayeux, the fan favourite, the world champion, he's back there in 5, and he's really going to have to wind it up and use every ounce of his experience on this track to get himself through into the final and keep the fans happy. Arboleda, Marquardt, Bouty, Molina, 1, 2, 3 and 4. It looks like Romain Mayeux might be going out. He needs a minor miracle as they come down this final straight, as they go across the line. Arboleda's going to take it. Bouty in there as well. Simon Marquardt, Molina. Oh, the fan favourite, the world champion, is out at the quarter-final stage.
It is silent outside the commentary box. They can't quite believe what they've seen. And that looked to me to go right for everybody, but maybe on the start, watch this up. Surely this is where it went wrong. He didn't get out of the gate well at all.
No, he didn't get out, and Arboleda took his opportunity to cut him off because he knew if he gave him even an inch, he would take it. Meanwhile, he got down that second straight and into the corner. The Swiss riders were there behind him. Mayeux was in there in 5, and I think he got to this point and knew from 7th it wasn't going to happen in the final corner, and they came in and out. Arboleda took it. No quarter asked or given by that Colombian. He's certainly a man on a mission today.
And there's going to be the French are going to have a serious inquiry about that. I mean, it's not going to be the Spanish Inquisition, but it will be the French inquiry, won't it? Because that was not expected by anybody, I think, in the entire Sarrians area, probably in the whole of Vaucluse-Provence. Let's have that confirmation. Marquardt going through ahead of Arboleda, fractions are going to 1/10 of a second, separating those riders. Bouty and Molina through. And Romain Mayeux getting pipped, doesn't even get 7th place there. He's not going to be happy. That's not going to be the night he expected tonight. But we move on to the next of our quarterfinals. This is going to be the 3rd of the quarterfinals. And Ramirez, surely here, he's right in the middle. He's going to have to pull some magic out.
Yeah, they call him the little magician, and that's because he can make magic happen in the turns. And if there's ever a track where he needs magic in the turns, it's this one. Let's see what he's got.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Gilbrunner and Roman Maye, the former European champion, on the inside. Molina in there as well. Where is Paddy Sharrock of Great Britain? He's in there in about 7th as they go in and out of the first turn. And Brunner's going to lead it down the straight towards the corner. Wilson, Goyes, Lorea in there as well as they head into turn number 2. Maye is getting shuffled back a little bit. He's battling for that 4th spot as they head towards the final corner. Brunner, Ramirez, Maye in there as well. In and out they go. Maye's on the 4th spot, being battled with by the Ecuadorian. Who's going to get it in the line? Is Maye going to hang on? I think he is. Paddy Sharrock of Great Britain, he's out. Bruno Ramirez Blanc and Roman Maye going through. That was a real mix-up. Gil Brunner just got himself out of trouble and carried on to the line.
Yeah, he was out. He wasn't the fastest gate, only by 4,000 second, but even so, it was a good start. Ramirez in the centre, just elbows that straight across there. Really did make that his as he came through. But Brunner, he wasn't having any of it. Big elbows there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just keeping an eye on Renaud Blanc, who was back there in that 3rd spot. He's known for his technical ability through technical tracks. And yeah, he held on to the line. Paddy Sharrock, meanwhile, he knew his day was done and it was over. Ugamar went out in 7 as well. So that's tough. It's really tough, actually, in this men elite category here today.
And there are so many strong riders, with that, which is great from a fan's point of view, seeing so many, but when you're up against such intense competition, really, really tough. The qualifiers, top 4 going through, who will be joining them after the end of the quarterfinals. We're going into our final quarterfinal, and surely this is going to be a head-to-head between Sylvain Andre and Nick Kimmen.
Yeah, certainly. Sylvain and Nick were used to battling in the World Cups, but I had a chat with one of our French colleagues this morning, and he said he picked Arthur Pilard for the win. Yeah. And you can't count out Eddie Clerté either. Michael Bias has got the skills to make it happen, and Ross Cullen way out there in gate number 7, and sometimes that can be the safest place to be when the action occurs in the corners. Nick Kimmen just tightening that shoe.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Last of the quarterfinals, heading down the hill. Let's have a look. Kimmen's not got a great start either, so it's a battle between the 2 French riders into the corner. Sylvain Andre in there into Arthur Pilard, getting in the mix as well. And it's Cullen. Where is he? He's in there in 4th at the minute. Ross Cullen of Great Britain working his way up into 3 as they head down towards the final turn. Andre Pilard, here we go, in and out of that corner. And Eddie Clerté in there in 3. So France 1, 2 and 3. Ross Cullen's going to make it through. He's going to take it on the line. Bias has chased him to the stripe. Who got it at the line? I've got a feeling it was a photo finish. But Andre Pilard and Clerté 1, 2 and 3 again.
Go listen to those French team when they tell you that tip. Look out. He was absolutely flying there. But what happened to Kimmen?
Yeah, he just didn't get the start that he wanted, and it's a short first straight here, as we were alluding to earlier on. And if you're not in that first turn inside probably the top 3, you've got a very difficult run ahead of you, and you haven't got a lot of time to make it happen. And at this point, it was Andre Pilard, Clerté 1, 2 and 3. The French flying in formation. Ross Cullen's just done enough, I think, to get it from Michael Bias at the line. A great performance from Ross Cullen. He came from gate 7. Worked his way through, and I think he's just got himself a position in the semi-finals. Yeah, there's your confirmed result. Ross Cullen going through in that 4th spot, but Andre Pilard Clerté, the French 1, 2, 3. The dream final for our local fans is definitely on.
It is. I mean, there is the possibility that it could be an entirely French final on a French track at the World Cup in the men's elite competition, and they're still going to be looking for a win in every single one of our competitions. So, as you can see, the action never stops here in Sarrians for round 6 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup. And we are lining up ready to go. Corley in on gate number 1 there. Martinez in 2.
Yeah, Corley and Martinez together on the inside going into that first turn. This could be really, really interesting. And Aiko Gomez is there in 3 and Veronica Stariska in 4. So definitely keep your eye on those 4 gates, because I've got a feeling there might be some action as they go into that first corner. So it looks like everybody's settled and ready to go. And the focus from Corley and Martinez.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
First semi-final underway in the women under 23. Martinez has been squeezed by Corley, and as they go into the first turn, oh, she's had to thread the needle. Martinez working her way into that second spot, but Team USA, Ava Corley out front, looking absolutely superb in this one. I've got a feeling that's Aiko Gomez in there in that third position as they go in and out of the second turn. Valerie Vossen in the mix as well, and the Colombian rider trying to get in there. That's Martinez Agudelo, who's just going through. Oh, she's been pushed up the turn, and that's ruined the momentum as they come down towards the line. It's Corley and Martinez. They're going to get the 1 and 2. Valerie Vossen, is she going to make it in? I don't think she did. Stariska got the 3. Aiko Gomez got the 4. It was all mixed up in that final corner, but it didn't matter because Corley and Martinez had checked out and gone.
Well, great to see the action a little bit further, but that fight is to get through and qualify, isn't it? If you're clear at the front, you can let the carnage sort of basically happen behind you. So here we go, off from the gate. You can see that instant start there, and Martinez did well to come back from being pushed so far back down the track.
Yeah, and I couldn't believe the start that Veronika Stariska got. She got an appalling start. She was back there in 7. She didn't get over the first jump, and she's weaved her way through down the third straight into the final corner and managed to get herself in there into the top 3 by the time they got to the line. What a ride from Veronika Stariska. Amazing.
So, yeah, great. Very, very interesting. I mean, we thought the fireworks would be on the very first turn, and it ended up being on the last turn and further back down the field, but that's your confirmed result. It's Corley, Martinez, Stariska and Gomez going through from the semi-finals into the finals. Which 4 riders will be joining them from the second of our semi-finals? This will be a very, very interesting semi-final, and this, in some ways, could be even closer.
Yeah, Michelle Vissing and Emily Hutt next to each other in gates 1 and 2. Renske van Sanfort in there as well. Zoe Hapke certainly wanting to make the French fans happy. Vissing and Hutt, though, and they've got Yabuta there as well. So it's a stacked semi-final for the women under 23 in this one. I'm going to stop trying to make predictions because they've all been wrong so far.
I was going to ask you. I didn't think that was fair on this one. No way on this planet was it going to be fair to even go and say who would you be your pick, because it just, I mean, you could literally just put it on a dartboard and throw a dart at it, and you'd probably be as accurate as our prediction, I think, on this, because it is anybody's at the moment. So the riders lined up, and they will soon be brought up and ready. It was a long hold on the previous semi as well, wasn't it, prior to the gate going?
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't help the nerves, but they haven't got time now. The gate's about to drop.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Michelle Vissing, Emily Hutt, Dewey Yabuta, gates 1, 2 and 3, and the rider from Great Britain has not got the start that she wanted. She's back there in 8, so she's really going to have to work her way through. Is Emily Hutt. It looks like the Dutch are going 1, 2 at the moment. Michelle Vissing, Renske van Sanfort, and that looks like her Indisch keepers in there in that third position, so the Dutch are going 1, 2 and 3. Who's got the 4 spot? Yabuta's in there in 4 at the moment, being tracked down by Emily Hutt. Emily's worked her way into 5. Can she make a move in the final corner? The rider from Great Britain, she's going to have to make it happen sooner rather than later as they come down the straight. Yabuta's in control. Looks like Emily Hutt might be going out. Emily Hutt of Great Britain, she looks like her day is done. Emily Hutt out in 5. Michelle Vissing, Renske van Sanfort, Indisch keepers. The Dutch going 1, 2 and 3.
Well, great riding that, and a terrible start for Hutt there that she then came back from and really made a great move underneath in that turn, but then couldn't quite make that stick to go back up. And the Dutch are very, very strong on the way through there, and hoping we're going to take a little bit of a look back at that. So this started, it's short, and it does mean that those positions are set. You've got less time to correct that bad start if you do get one. So here we go. Vissing, Van Sanfort, Sheepers and Djibouti going through. Hutt, Manikova, Hapke and Favrel out in the quarterfinals. So our semi-finals, they look like they've produced what will be a great final. We're going to move on to our men's under 23 semi-finals next. The first of our semi-finals are just lining up here. And Rich, this almost seems to me to be Costane's to lose.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how he gets on. He's there in gate number 3, which is probably a really good line into that first turn, but he's got Steiner and Beisterbosch on the inside of him. You know, Marcus Leth on the outside, Jesse Asmus of Australia. He's a rider who's very capable of making things happen. He made some great moves at the World Championships in Glasgow, and you've even got Tatiana Louis Hinsan on the outside. If you'd just like to pass me the form book, I'd like to throw it out the window.
I think it already went, mate. It's paper aeroplane. It blew out yesterday in round number 5 in all of that breeze and all that when we had. So here we go.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
First of the semi-finals underway for the men under 23. Steiner, Kolsele, Leth into that corner. Beisterbosch on the inside. Has he managed to work his way into the top 4? I think he has, but he's under pressure now as they go down towards that second turn. The man in control, though, is the world champion. Philipp Steiner in and out. Kolsele in there in 2. Leth in 4. Left's under pressure, though, from Beisterbosch as they go in. And here comes Jesse Asmus on the inside, throwing it in there. Couldn't quite make it stick. So it's going to be Steiner, Kolsele. He's going to go 1 and 2. Who's going to get the 3 and the 4? Leth made it in, I think, and it was Jacquet of France who made it in that 3rd position. Asmus didn't quite do enough. And Beisterbosch, his day is done.
So many moves. I mean, just in one corner, we were seeing riders there going from what was 3rd to 7th place or 4th to 7th place. It was just absolutely frantic in the corners. But they were all following Steiner. And Steiner, in those sort of World Championship stripes, they're not heavy stripes, are they? They are. This is a light jersey for him. He's wearing it well.
Yeah, certainly not for Philipp Steiner. They say the weight of the rainbow jersey can make you a little bit slow, but certainly not in that case. I was expecting a move from Jesse Asmus in that final corner. He tried to make it happen. The Australian couldn't quite make it stick, but Steiner, you know, absolutely on it today. He's riding really, really well.
Okay, so that is a 1 down and 1 more to go in terms of our semi-final here today. So confirmed results: Steiner, Costanet, Jacquet and Leth through. The rest going out in our semi-finals, and sets us up. Well, it's going to be an interesting final because, well, we could almost ask who's going to come second in the next of our heats normally, because we would normally say Rico Behrman would be, you know, a shoe-in really for the taking this.
Yeah, it's a tough one to call. He's got Stauffacher next to him there, and Gregory Kellier of France, and Thomas Maturano. He only just got his foot into his pedal before the quarterfinal. Yeah,
a pure adrenaline. Nearly didn't actually get clipped in. You could hear him shouting for some more time in there. I bet he's clipped in now.
Yeah, he'll be ready. So let's see what's happened. We've got Beerman in there in 2, Kellier in 3, Maturano in 4, Stauffacher on the inside.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Semi-final number 2, men under 23. Kip Stauffacher and Rico Beerman. Maturano getting it all wrong over that jump, and he's 8th into the first corner. So can he weave his way through? Stauffacher, Beerman, Radaelli, Kellier, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Maturano's trying to work his way in now. The South American, he's back there in 6. He might have left himself just too much to do. Stauffacher, the Swiss rider, being pursued by Beerman into the final corner. Rico Beerman follows him in, knows that he's safe. Radaelli in there in 3. Kellier looking like he's going to go through in 4, but the Swiss rider takes it. So both of the men under 23 semi-finals, both won by Swiss riders. That's going to make the final really interesting.
Wow. Not sure what happened on the way out that one. I think there was a little bit of archie-buggy on the way out off the track. I mean, it was very, very close all the way around. And what a change around we've seen. Behrman was untouchable in terms of being on top spot. He was really, really looking strong first half of the season, the first 4 rounds. Now, post-Worlds, it's like, well, not quite a different rider, but it's like they're not scared of him anymore.
No, the Swiss certainly are making their presence felt today. Radaelli was in there in 3. Now, Kellier and Genestroni were battling as they came to the line, and I think Genestroni might have just nicked it from Kellier right at the strike. We'll have to wait for the confirmed result, but I think that's what happened. And there is your confirmed result: Stauffacher, Beerman, Radaelli, and it was Robin Genestroni of France who's gone through in that 4th spot, stealing it away from his countryman Kellier at the line. And yeah, all action. You literally can't let up until you're about 5 meters past that line.
Yeah, you got to race through the line, never ever race to the line. You got to race all the way through it. We're going to see which of our elite women are able to do so. Into our women's semi-finals. The very first one contains the world champion, maybe not on the form that we would expect all the way through the season. It's possible, surely not, but she's kind of proving us wrong. She's so strong.
Yeah. Random start. Riders ready. Watch the gate.
Semi-final number 1, women in elite. Oh, gate 2 proving to be the bogey gate again, as was Bethany Shriever has been cut off, and she's back there in 8 now. It's Zoe Clayson's leading it out. Elise Willoughby in there in 2. Laura Smulders in 3. Camille Murr of France is working her way through into the top 4. And it's Clayson's out front. Where is Bethany Shriever? She's back there in 8. It looks like the world and Olympic champion is going out at the semi-final stage. In and out the final corner. Here we go. It's going to be Zoe Clayson's, Elise Willoughby, Laura Smulders, 1, 2 and 3. Who's going to get that full spot? It looked like the 13 plate of Axel Etienne who made it in. Camille Murr in 5, but Bethany Shriever's day is over. I don't know what's going on with gate 2 today, but everybody who's in there seems to be having an absolute shocker.
And it's a simultaneous gate. For anybody new to the sport, it's simultaneous. Rich, tell us what happened here.
Yeah, Bethany just didn't quite get the gate that she wanted, and didn't get over that first jump properly. And when you're in 8th going into the first corner on a track this short, you know your day's pretty much done. Meanwhile, Zoe Clayson's was out front, Elise Willoughby in there in 2, Laura was in 3, and Axel Etienne in there in 4. I thought it was Camille Murr, but as they came out of the second turn, it was clear that Axel had the position. Zoe Clayson's took the stripe. Wins the semi-final, Elise in there in 2. But yeah, it's been a day of shocks already.
It has indeed. So Clayson's Willoughby, Smulders and Etienne going in through to our finals in the first of our semi-finals. Well, let's see who's up for the second semi-final. It is Meryl Smulders, Sayasaki Barrow with Felicia Stansel and co in there. Should we not make any predictions? Tell you what, let's not do that. Let's just watch the action. Rich, I'm not sure anybody can predict what is going to happen. Yesterday really does seem to have shaken the riders more, and the loss of round 5 really has shaken these riders, and it's turned it on its head.
Yeah, maybe the nerves are just getting to them a little bit, because obviously they've not had day 1 of the World Cup weekend just to shake all that pre-race tension out, and everything's down to today.
Okay, riders. Random start. Riders ready. Watch the gate.
Semi-final 2, women elite leaving the gate. Delaney Vaughan on the outside, Sayaka Kakabara on the inside, Meryl Smulders in there as well. Looks like Judy Bowers going to be inside the top 4 as they go in and out of the turn. That is Molly Simpson of Canada in there in 3. Nadine Eberhard trying to get in the mix as well. But Sayaka Kakabara of Australia leading into turn number 2, being pursued by Meryl Smulders. Molly Simpson looking good in 3. Judy Bow in 4. Nadine Eberhard in 5. The Swiss rider on the outside looking in. Is she going to be able to make a move? She's trying down that final turn. Is she going to catch Judy Bow at the line? I've got a feeling she's going to run out of time, but Sayaka Kakibara of Australia takes the win in that semi. Smulders, Simpson, Bow going through. Felicia Stansel, the 2022 world champion, she's out in 7, but Saya looking absolutely majestic in that lap.
I saw her very early on today, and she was looking just a usual smiling. So I was just wandering around really early. She was on site here, one of the very first riders to make it in to the venue, but the nerves not getting the better of her as she sets off from that gate, takes the whole shot, and really wasn't troubled on the way through. Further back, that battle then developing part way through, and as we came through from the second to the third straight, the gap really did open up on turn number 2 between our leading 2 riders coming through. And Rich, I think there is a lot of nerves out there. It has built up, but these riders, they're the best in the world, and they have strategies to deal with that.
Yeah, they do, and but you know, everybody's human at the end of the day, and certainly, you know, some riders have been making some very uncharacteristic mistakes today. It'll be interesting to see how these men elite semi-finals shake out, because There's so many fast guys. The pressure's absolutely palpable. You know, they've really got to control themselves and control those nerves and just be able to perform when it counts. But riders like Joris Dode and Jeremy Renkerel, Arthur Pilard, they know what they need to do. And I've got a feeling this semi-final is going to be one of the laps of the day. So the French going 1, 2, and 3. Renkerel in 2, Joris Dode in 1, Arthur Pilard in 3. Got Cedric Bouty in there in 4. Seems like a lifetime since he won that 2017 Junior World title, but that's the confirmed result for the women's semi-final. And Saya Sakakibara confirmed as taking the win. But all eyes now on the top of the 8-meter hill here in Sarrians in France. And let's see what happens in semi-final number 1. So Joris Dode and Jeremy Renkerel, focused and ready to go. Cedric Bouty in there in gate number 4. And Mathis Rago-Richard of France in gate 7. Certainly everybody taking their time getting settled.
A long time up on top of the hill. So as you can see, Arthur Pilard not even rolling down to the gate at the moment. We're just keeping a little bit of an eye on the track. I think a little bit of track maintenance having to be put in between. At the moment, all the eyes down on the track. At the moment, the crowd here waiting nervously. But our riders now lined up, ready to go.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
First, the semi-finals for the mini leads heading down the hill. Jeremy Renkerel, Joris Dode, 1 and 2 into that first turn. Where is Arthur Pilard? He's in there in 4th at the moment. He's got Ramirez behind him. So the little magician, he's capable of making the magic happen, and he's going to have to make it happen in this semi-final. In and out of the turn, Joris Dode of France, Renkerel, Bouty, Pilard. Who's got the 5th? It's Mathis Rago-Richard. So Richard needs to make a dive in that final turn. Looks like he can't quite make it stick. Pilard's going to go through in the 4. Joris Dode, Jeremy Renkerel, Arthur Pilard, 3 French riders in the final. Cedric Bouty spoiling the party for Mathis Rago-Richard. And Ramirez couldn't pull the rabbit out of the hat when it mattered most.
He couldn't. Cedric Bouty there really gate crashing the party, joining in. And he did make that his own. He was under pressure there, but you can see pushing all the way to the line beyond Pilard there. So as they came out, the 3 Frenchmen, 1, 2, 3 on the gate. But one was always going to lose out, and Bouty there looking very strong indeed. Yeah,
there was a touch of elbows between Bouty and Arthur Pilard as they came down that first straight, and it was just enough to knock Arthur off his momentum just that little bit, but he had enough in the tank as they came towards the final corner, despite the attentions of Mathis Rago-Richard there on the 61. He's just come back after a serious injury. He was looking to make his first World Cup main. The bike got slammed down. He knew he hadn't quite done enough, but one man who had done enough was Joris Dode.
Well, absolutely flying. Now, he's normally a rider who goes really well on the second round when we have rounds as pairs. He hasn't got second round. This is it, round number 6, and yet he's clearly enjoys. Maybe it's just the fact that it's a Sunday usually for the second of the rounds. That maybe that's what works in his favour. Dode through with Renkerel and co, and he was looking good there from the get-go. So our men's semi-final heat number 2. Going to be rounding out the semi-finals here in Sarrians in France as the 6th of our rounds in the BMX Racing World Cup. Should be a cracker.
It is going to be a cracker, and that rider on the outside, Ross Cullen of Great Britain, he had gate 7 in the quarterfinal, and it worked to his advantage. So let's see if he can make it work from gate 8 this time around. The rider out of Preston in the UK. Right next door to the former European champion on the 202, that is Romain Meillet. Next up on the 815, he's just there at the back of the gate, waiting until the last minute to roll in. That is Eddie Clerté. He's been pump track world champion before now, so he's certainly got technical skills. And the 7, the 2022 world champion in under 23, Leo Garoyan. And next to the man who quite brutally cut off Roman Mayu, that is Diego Arboleda. No quarter asked or given. Gil Brunner from the Swiss camp. He's in that gate 4. 179, Simon Marquardt, do apologise. Simon Marquardt, the 2022 world champion. And then right there on the inside, on the 39, the joker in the BMX pack, that is Sylvain Andre.
Well, you can hear him being introduced to the crowd. It's definitely very partisan here today. The crowd are getting ramped up, the decibel level rising on the way through. So this is the last of our semi-finals.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Second semi-final, many leads heading down the hill. Let's have a look as they go to turn number 1. Diego Arboleda getting the whole shot. Eddie Clerté in there and Leo Garoyan as well. So the French are in 2 and 3 at the minute as they head towards that turn. Ross Cullen right there in the mix. Oh, it looks like he's blown it down that second straight. Arboleda, Clerté leading it out 1 and 2. The French are 3 and 4 as well. It looks like we're going to have 6 French riders in that main event. In and out the final corner, Diego Arboleda. The French fans are going absolutely wild. Garoyan makes it in. Clerté's in as well. Sylvain Andre. Wow, wow, wow. The French fans are getting what they came for.
They are, and so are we. That was so tight on the way through there. Out. It's just trying to squeeze everybody into that first turn so fast. And then, of course, we've got that cut back across the track, which is different. It's a different switch of direction. Normally, it's the other way around for the women. And what a great race. Arboleda, though. Cool as cucumber. He may well be racing up against the best in the world. But as he went into that, he really looked prepared. He went in. And then at the very end there, he almost eased right back. He almost lost that place there, just easing into the line.
Yeah, taking a look at this, he got a textbook start. He cut off Gil Brunner right there next to him, moved across on Simon Marquardt as well. And he's certainly not taking any prisoners today, is Diego Arboleda. Meanwhile, behind him, Eddie Clerté and Leo Garoyan were having their own personal battle. Sylvain Andre worked his way across from the outside into that second turn to round out the top 4. Fans were going completely bonkers at this point. They came in and out of the corner. Arboleda was leading it out. The French were 2, 3 and 4. And certainly Sarrians been very kind to our French team.
And how much is it an advantage to know the track as well as the French team know this track?
Oh, definitely, definitely. You know all those little tricks that you can play. And you know, the 6 French riders in that final. The only 2 non-French riders are Cedric Bouty and Diego Arboleda. So certainly you can expect the decibel level to go way up later on as we go through the program. And there is your confirmed result. Diego Arboleda, Eddie Clerté, Leo Garoyan, Sylvain Andre going through. The 2022 world champion Simon Marquardt going out in 5, and Ross Cullen having a disappointing day with 8th in the semi-final.
So here at Sarrians for the UCI BMX Racing World Cup, it's round number 6. This is going to be the halfway point. We're going to be over the hump in the middle. And when we go out to Argentina, really looking forward to Santiago del Estero for rounds 7, 8, 9 and 10. And you can see the track team here keeping the crowd cool as well. Absolutely brilliant. Can they send some of that our direction? It's pretty warm here today in Sarrians. You see the photographers running out of the way, not too far down the straight. I don't think they need to cool that crowd down. It's absolutely blazingly warm now. The temperature's picked up from the 25 degrees as they keep the track nicely in tip-top condition. And cover it with water. It's just keep that dust down because it is so dry.
Yeah, it is. It's very, very dry. And the track maintenance team here have done an absolutely superb job as our in-house MC, Mathieu Faucher, winds the French crowds up, gets them into a frenzy. And, you know, they've come for some entertainment, and I've got a feeling today that they are going to get it. So, yeah, it's all looking good here in Sarrians. And we've had some classic laps already, and I think the World Cup finals, the 4 that we're about to watch, are going to be absolute classics as well.
Yeah, now one quick question for you. Just been watching, and watching the tyres choices for the riders as they've lined up, number of riders running what would be the easiest thing to call them. It's a slick tyre, basically zero tread on there. Others just using something with a slight tread in there. Any major advantage, or is it rider preference?
No, not really. It's just rider preference. You know, the tyres have got what I would describe as smoother over the years, and they just want the maximum amount of grip, especially when they go into these tarmac turns. But there is your start list for the women under 23 final. Michelle Vissing, who set the fastest time, she gets the first pick. Ava Cawley in there, Tessa Martinez. So got three really fast riders there. Van Sanfort, Skeepers in there, Julia Buta, Veronica Stariska, and Aiko Gomez. So certainly this women under 23 final here, round number 6 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup in Sarrians in France. It's set to be a superb lap, and Ava Cawley there on that 5:16, doing it for Team USA. She looks focused and ready, but she's got to do battle with Michelle Vissing and Tessa Martinez.
And when we come into the finals, gate choice is critical. How is that decided for people who don't know?
Yeah, certainly position in the semi-finals, but also if you've got to break it down, if you've got two riders, say you finished first in each semi-final, then it would be broken down to lap time to get you the pick.
And that pick absolutely critical. The riders are rolling down to the gate.
Yeah, the series leader, Veronica Stariska of Latvia on that 5:01. She's out there on the outside in gate number 8. Gate number 7 on the 5:09. The former world pump track champion out of Belgium. She's got skills. It's Aiko Gomez. Gate 6 on the 5:15 out of Japan. It is Jui Yabusa. And on the 5:26 out of the Netherlands, the 2018 junior world champion Indy Schippers. And next to her, a compatriot on the 5:14, a stalwart of the European Cup scene, it's Arenska van Sanfort. The 500 on the world champion jersey, Tessa Martinez. And next to her, the up-and-coming rider on the 5:16, Team USA's Ava Cawley. And right on the inside, gate number 1 out of the Netherlands, the fastest lap so far here in women under 23, it's Michelle Vissing of the Netherlands.
So far, Tessa Martinez taking 2 wins in rounds 1 and 2, 3 and 4 being taken by Stariska. Who's it going to be here in round 6?
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Here we go, women under 23 final, heading down the hill. Michelle Vissing got a great start. Tessa Martinez has been bunched in the pack. Here comes Renska van Sanfort working her way into that second spot. So it is Vissing, van Sanfort, Martinez, Stariska. That is your 1, 2, 3 and 4 at the moment. Ava Cawley back there in about 6 and with a lot of work. Oh, Martinez and Stariska have taken each other out as they got to the second turn. Oh, absolute action in the second corner. Riders going down left and right, but it's the 2 Dutch riders who are out front. Michelle Vissing is going to take the win. Renska van Sanfort in 2. Aiko Gomez of Belgium in 3. Indy Schippers going through in that 4th spot. But Martinez and Stariska came to grief in that second corner. But Michelle Vissing is celebrating the win.
Just going, you've got to go clear, and you can see what it means for her. And you can see the support there from the team as well. Brilliant to see that the crowd there cheering on the riders to get themselves back up, picking themselves off the floor, hitting the deck. It is all part of riding a bike racing. BMX is something none of these riders will not have done before.
Yeah, all the action came in that second turn. I would be really interested to see the replay and find out what went on with Veronica Stariska and Tessa Martinez. Tessa didn't quite get the start that she wanted. Michelle Vissing got an absolute blinder as she led into turn number 1. Van Sanfort in there as well. Martinez had settled into that 3rd spot, and she had Stariska just coming up the inside. I'm wondering if Veronica went for the move and just, Martinez came across. The wheels touched. They both went down. That caught up Jui Yabuta, who was back there as well. Jabuta went down in the heap. Ava Cawley went down as well, so it took 4 riders in 1 corner. And then Michelle Vissing was, meanwhile just riding down the final straight, taking her first under-23 World Cup win with all the delight that it involves. Renske van Sanfort, I'm sure, is absolutely stoked with that second spot. Big hug from the Smulders sisters of congratulations for Michelle Vissing.
Well, great ride by Vissing. And that move there, coming across by the world champion. She came a long way across the track from left to right there. And I think that'll be very interesting to see what that actually does to the standings. Let's take a little bit of a look at the under-23 women's result here. So Stariska not down as a finisher. It's Vissing from Van Sanfort, then Gomez and Sheepers. They're the 4 riders that came in and through. Some great emotion there. I think it's time to see just what that really means to our race winner.
Michelle, many congratulations. Just talk us through that race there.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a nice final. I had some good laps today. And in the final was a great start. And the round was also perfect. So I'm happy for my first World Cup win.
Yes, a first World Cup win, and you had the under-23 world champion, the junior world champion up there on the start gate. What was going through your mind, and how did you approach this race today?
Yeah, I'm really happy. I have not a lot of words. Yeah, just I'm happy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, still breathing hard there, and no surprises at all after what was a really brutal, a really tough race. She was clear of the trouble behind, and that is absolutely key, isn't it, Rich? Get out that gate, get out of trouble, try and go clear. She had her own battle at the front there, but behind, really all about making sure you get that line right and getting the awareness. Did Tessa Martinez want it too much, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was just a racing incident more than anything else. 2 riders going into that corner, wanting the position, you know, the elbows touched, the bikes came together, down they both went, and that just started the chain reaction that collected Dewey Abuta and Ava Cawley, and that's just BMX racing. It happens. It's one of those things, and they're going to have to come back at round number 7 in Santiago del Estero in Argentina and try all over again. But yeah, the world champion not quite getting away. But delight for Michelle Vissing and Aiko Gomez and Renske van Sanfort. And they're just about to collect the traditional flowers.
Indeed,
we're flower ceremony.
Yeah, we're about to move on to the flower ceremony. The 3 riders collected, trying to rehydrate, suck up the oxygen that is available here. Even the air is really warm here today in Provence, and I think Vissing now, the effects of that race is just taking its toll. She'll have been so pumped up with adrenaline and with taking that win. I don't think she'll have felt how hard she's gone. Well, here we go. Let's see our riders make the way on to the podium for the traditional flower ceremony.
Yeah, go.
It's Aiko Gomez collecting the traditional flowers here in the flower ceremony. She took that 3rd position. Renske van Sanfort, we've seen lots of Renske on the European Cup scene, now on the World Cup scene as well. Taking that 2nd position, she's got the Dutch national champion sleeve on her jersey, but your winner today in the women under 23 category, that is Michelle Vissing of the Netherlands, taking her very first World Cup win. She's all smiles. And just the traditional photographs for our media. And that is your top 3, Michelle Vissing, Renske van Sanfort and Aiko Gomez.
Great 3 riders to have on the podium, and it shows you can never ever give up. You know, when they came out of the gate, Aiko Gomez probably didn't think she was really in there, in with the chance. You could see everything going off around her, and then up into the podium, into a podium spot in 3rd place. Great to see. Now, let's see if the men's match is up in terms of action. Hopefully everybody's going to make it rubber side down over the line this time round. Great lineup here.
Yep, Staufascher, Steiner, Bierman, Radielli, Colsney, Genestroni, Mathis Jacquet and Marcus Leff in there. And the first rider up in gate number 8 on the 503, that is Marco Radielli of Italy. Next to him on the 528 out of Denmark, it's Marcus Leff. Gate 6 wearing the European Champions jersey on the 501-2. That is Mathis Jacquet. Certainly the French fans making their feelings known, as they will do now, with the rider on the 5-4-3. In gate number 5, that is Robin Gianstroni. Gate number 4 on the 5-0-2. One of the most entertaining riders in French BMX, a real colourful character. It's Matteo Colsonet. And on the 500, the series leader, the man who has dominated this age group so far this year from New Zealand, it is Rico Bierman. But he's got some serious pressure today in gate number 2. The world champion wearing the rainbow stripes from Switzerland, it's Philipp Steiner. And on the inside, gate number 1 on the 5-2-3, also riding for Switzerland, Kip Stauffacher. The men under 23 final at round 6 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup here in Sarrians in France. We are ready to go. Let's see how the action unfolds.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
This is it, the final is go. The men under 23, round number 6 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup. It looks like the Swiss rider Stauffacher out there in front. That is Matteo Colsonet in 2. Jacques is in there in 3. It's all gone wrong for Philipp Steiner. He's back there in 8 at the moment. The Swiss rider's leading it out, but he's under pressure now from Matteo Colsonet as they come to the final corner. Has Colsonet got enough in the tank to get past him down this final straight? Stauffacher out in front. He's going to hold it to the line. Stauffacher, Colsonet 1 and 2, Jacques in there in 3, Gianstroni in 4, Radaelli in 5, and Rico Bierman's perfect World Cup record has gone out of the window in round number 6.
You can see how much he's put into that. I think you can hardly understand. And that was all about giving everything in the support there from fellow riders. It's always great to see that after the racing, the hugs, the support, the congratulations going down there. What a ride. Absolutely cracking. And it was close coming into that first turn, but then really he wasn't troubled. There was pressure from Colsonet, but Colsonet couldn't just quite get there, could he? Just didn't have enough to go and make that move.
No, it was a superb start from Kip Stauffacher. He put a superb first straight in and led it into the corner. And once you're out in front, especially on a track as short as this, you've got all the time in the world. You know, you can pick your lines, you can work out where you need to be. Everybody else has got to do the work behind you. And he picked up for that jump into the first turn, absolutely textbook. Led it into the corner. Colsonet was looking good in 2. Jacques was in there in 3. And Rico Bierman, his perfect record has gone out of the window. I mean, he'll still hold on to the series lead, I'm sure, but I'm sure he would have liked to have made it 5 wins out of 5. But everybody's streak has got to come to an end at some point, and it was Kip Stauffacher who ended that win streak. For Rico Bierman today, Matteo Colsonet in there in that second spot, and delight for the Swiss riders. Philipp Steiner congratulating his good friend Kip Stauffacher on taking the win.
Great racing for our riders. Great action for us to watch. Really, really close there. And I think now that Kip Stauffacher is all ready to make his way towards the flower ceremonies and towards our interviews, we'll be grabbing a word with him very shortly indeed. I do feel sorry for the riders sometimes. You give it absolutely everything. It's that moment of elation. And I'll turn up with the microphone and try and get a hold of some words, and hopefully you're going to make some sense. We'll see what Kip has to say in a moment, I'm sure. That is your confirmed top 8 there. Colsonet going to add to his points substantially in the overall series. He's in 3rd place in the series, coming in Bierman, as Rich has said, he's going to be up at the top, but it's all about our race winner here today. New name up on the top spot on that podium again, coming up later. Kip Stauffacher of Switzerland. It's a day for new riders on the top. I think he's got his breath back. He's down there. Let's hear what our race winner has to say.
Kim, many congratulations. A first ever World Cup win for yourself. What did it take to cross the finish line first today?
First of all, I feel super great. It was really hard with the breaks. They got shorter with in the finals. But I guess it was just a great team, good support. So I didn't have to do anything but cool down and get ready again.
We noticed that perhaps some riders weren't quite themselves today after missing out yesterday's racing. How did you feel going into today?
I was really excited to race. A little unfortunate yesterday's race got cancelled, but it was definitely the right decision as the wind was just too strong.
Okay, many congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, interesting to hear him say that he really felt the gap, because the time gap comes down, doesn't it, between races, basically. So the further through the race programme, less time to recover, less time to be ready, less time to spin that line to gas it out. Didn't seem to worry him here, Rich.
No, not at all. He's 1, 2, 3 out of the gate. His first straight was, picture perfect. Matteo Colsone in there in that second position. Mathieu Jacquet in 3. Marco Radielli was inside the top 5 at that point, out in front of Rico Biermann, but it was all about the Swiss rider, Kip Stauffacher, taking his first World Cup win under pressure from Matteo Colsone, who's kept that consistency going, and he's on the podium yet again.
So great to see our top 3 here today, and they're going to make their way for the flower ceremony. It is going to be Mathieu Jacquet of France, who takes the 3rd place here, the European champion. On the left of the podium, all right, it's the 2nd place here today for Matteo Colsone of France. France either side of the podium, but they are going to be sandwiching the man in the middle. The man who kept clear of all the rest, Kip Stauffacher of Switzerland. Your race winner here for the men's under 23 at round 6 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup. And now only the 2nd name to take a win in the series this year. But he can still take this. It is still possible for riders to come through and take the win. It is going to be really interesting once we reach Argentina. And it should be about who travels well as well, because the whole circus travels across the Atlantic.
Yeah, there's a lot to play for in those 2 weekends in Santiago del Estero, Argentina. 4 World Cup rounds still to go. So there's plenty of racing and plenty of time to make up points. As we move to the Women Elite Final, there is your start list. Zoe Clayton's, Saya Sakakibara, Meryl Smulders, Molly Simpson, Elise Willoughby, Laura Smulders, Axel Etienne and Judy Bow. So a nice mix of nations in there. And we're looking forward to some great racing here at round 6 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup. And as we line up on the gate on the 13 plate for France, it is Axel Etienne. Good to see her back on the World Cup scene. Certainly the fans are happy to see her as well. On the 388, she's had a World Cup win before at Papendal. That is Judy Bow from the Netherlands. Gate number 6 on the 2 plate. A little bit further out from the inside than she would normally be, but certainly a rider who knows how to win. That's Laura Smulders from the Netherlands. And on the 44, out of Canada, will she see daylight as she comes out of that first turn? It's Molly Simpson, the 10-time USA BMX Women's Champion. Olympic silver medalist, it's Elise Willoughby. On the 22 plate, out of the Netherlands, Olympic bronze medalist, it's Meryl Smulders. On the 77 plate, took a World Cup win at Papendal. Last time around, it's Saya Sakakibara. And on the inside, on the 65 plate, the European champion. She spent so much time training at this very track. It's Zoe Claessens. The Women Elite Final is ready to go.
Okay. Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
The Women Elite Final is Go Riders head down the hill. Who's going to lead it into the turn? Saya Sakakibara of Australia. She's already had one World Cup win this year. Can she make it too? She's got pressure from Zoe Clayson's in that second spot. Elise Willoughby in there in 3. Meryl Smulders in 4. Molly Simpson in 5. But the Australian leads it down the third straight. Here comes Zoe Clayson. Can she catch her? They're into the final corner. Australia, Switzerland, 1 and 2. Willoughby battling away for the 3. Saya Sakakibara is going to win another World Cup. She crosses the line. Saya Sakakibara of Australia takes a second World Cup win of the year. She'll be absolutely delighted with that one. Zoe Clayson's in 2. Meryl Smulders rounding out the podium after battling with Elise Willoughby coming out of the final corner.
And that fight for third place, it got really, really close going through. Saya Sakakibara really disappearing off down there. Zoe Clayson's trying to make it, trying to get there, but she just didn't have the power, she didn't have the speed to get on to the wheel. Talk us through the race, Rich.
Yeah, certainly Saya Sakakibara got a superb start. She spent a lot of time on this track working with Roman Mayu, and yeah, certainly the work's paid off in this final. Zoe Clayson's was right there. I was expecting Zoe to maybe go for the high-low in that corner, but she couldn't quite get close enough. Meanwhile, behind, Meryl Smulders and Elise Willoughby were about to enter the final turn and have a battle of their own. The elbows were flying at that point. Meryl got the better of the exchange and ended up in that third spot, but there was no doubt about your winner. That was Saya Sakakibara of Australia. 2 World Cup wins for the year. A big hug from her friend Laura Smulders, and certainly a great way to end the weekend for the Australian.
And that is going to make things very, very interesting up near the top, because she has now got 2 wins, a 2nd and a 5th and a 12th. And whilst Bethany Shriver should still be holding on to top spot, I think that is going to close things down. And we're seeing a little bit of a shift, aren't we? We've got Saya taking top spot there, then Zoe followed by Meryl, Elise, and Laura. But the ride of the day, really in the elite women's, was by Saya Sakakibara of Australia. A great ride by her. She's always interesting. Post-race, let's hear what she's got to say. She's done an interview.
Saya, many congratulations. A 2nd World Cup win of the season. Just tell us, how important was it for you to get to that first bend in first place in order to come through with the win today?
Yeah, this first straight is so short that it is absolute key. And I knew that the inside is going to be like the biggest advantage. And I was quite confident on my heel and my start, so I knew that if I can get a good start, come across, protect that inside line, I had a really, really good chance. But yeah, in the semi-final, my legs were burning and almost cramping, and I was really worried that Zoe's really good on this track, so I was really worried that she was going to catch me. I just laid everything out there today, and oh, yeah, it feels really good.
To be fair, you're pretty good in this track as well. You know it well. You spend 6 months of the year here. How much has that contributed to the win today?
Oh, absolutely amazing. Like, a lot. I think that this track isn't, like, it's not a big track. There are a lot of small jumps, and it is really important to be precise and making sure we get the down ramps well. And I think that, yeah, because I spent 6 months here, it's so special that I can win on this track. I loved the energy from the French crowd, honestly. The way you guys just roared for Axel. I gained some of that energy as well. And yeah, it's such a pleasure. So awesome to win here.
Many congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
You can tell that she feels very at home here with the crowd, and absolutely mobbed in the signing up round 5 here by the youngsters. A great result for her and all of our top 3. Meryl Smulders in 3rd, Zoe Clayson's in 2nd. Saya Sakakibara, though, taking a top spot. That will really set her up going across. And some really interesting points there, wasn't there? First straight so short, really, really critical. But also, getting the downslope just right, so important.
Yeah, she gave so many lessons there for young riders who might be watching this. Younger BMXers, just take those points from Saya Sakakibara into account the next time you're on the track. You know, the first straight's key. It's important to be precise. It's important to get downsides. She's just nailed it right there.
She has, and one day maybe our youngsters who are watching, our young riders, will be up taking their flowers. We have Meryl Smulders, of course, from the Netherlands, taking third place, the European champion. Zoe Glaciers of Switzerland taking second place. But the race winner, her second win of the season here at round 6 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup, Isaiah Sakakibara of Australia. And she will be up on the podium later. Great 1, 2, 3, well deserved. A fantastic race, Rich.
Yeah, absolutely. Superb racing from the women elite riders here today. It's been all action all through the day in all the categories, but the rest of the action, the best of the action, is about to come now in the men elite final.
Well, let's see which of our men can deliver here today. They've got a lot to live up to after the action we've seen across the under-23 men's and women's. It is one Colombian, one Swiss rider. The rest of them, well, they're at home in France.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if there was a roof on this venue, I'm sure the French fans would absolutely take it off. It's just going to be immense, the noise that is going to come out of this venue right now as these 6 French riders are on the gate.
And in some ways, it almost takes away home advantage from the French riders because there are so many of them.
Yeah, it's certainly a tough one to call. I think the toughest part will be actually picking them out as they go around at full speed. But we are about to see the riders lining up on the gate for the final of round number 6, the men elite main event here in Sarrians in the beautiful Vaucluse region of France. Riders just taking their time, lining themselves up. Let's see who's going to take the win. But first up, we will introduce you to the riders in gate number 8 on the 39 plates. He was the world champion in 2018, the joker in the BMX Park, Sylvain Andre. And listen to that crowd. Next door to him on the 2 plate, took second place in the World Championships at Glasgow. It's Mr. Arthur Pillard. On the 8-1-5 out of France in gate number 6, Eddie Clerté. In gate number 5, on the 7 plate, the 2022 under-23 world champion, now in the men elite class, it's Leo Garoyan. On the 1-4-9 plate, in gate number 4, for Switzerland, it's Cedric Bouty. And on the 7-4-1 out of Colombia, took a World Cup win in Glasgow last year, it's Diego Arboleda. On plate number 5, in gate number 2, Jeremy Renkerel. And in gate number 1, on the inside, the 33 plate, the 5-time USA BMX Pro champion, it's Joris Dode. And I just love the way the French fans have been as enthusiastic for all of their riders.
You don't have to say which country anybody's from, do you? If it's from France, the noise is incredible. Well, let's see who's going to take this out. I'm really looking forward to this. Will it be a French clean sweep of the podium?
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Here we go, the men elite final, heading down the hill. Joris Dode on the inside. Arboleda's right there in the middle as they go to turn number 1. Dode gets the whole shot. Dode, Arboleda, Renkerel, 1, 2, and 3. Garoyan on the outside. He's in there in 4. Cedric Bouty in about 6, but Dode's leading them into the turn and starting to open up a lead. Joris Dode of France is leading to the final corner. It looks like he's going to take the win in round number 6. It's a French 1, 2, 3. Andre's in there as well. Renkerel for 2. Andre for 3, diving at the stripe. Who got it? Dode, Andre, Renkerel, 1, 2, 3 for France. Arboleda in 4. Eddie Clerté gets a top 5. but Joris Dode will take the adulation of the fans. They got what they came for. Throws the bike away. Even I've got my arms up in the commentary box. It was just amazing.
It's a good
Love
job.
it.
We don't have to write anything down. Everything's gone flying in here. And for a reason, the moves made on the final turns there by the French team, and they acknowledge the support here. And remember, this is part of the key training grounds for the Olympics. They're going to be in Paris. It's going to be absolutely off the scale, and these riders are going to spend a lot of time here with what is the heartland of French BMX. What a result. The team helpers are all coming across. I think the French team are going to be celebrating down the final straight for a long time yet. Fantastic race. And irrespective of the win, behind there was some incredible moves. They gave it absolutely everything.
Oh, it was just exactly what the French fans came for. They're going absolutely berserk. But what I love about it is the entire French team have come back out to celebrate with Joris Dode, to give him his due. Sylvain Andre in there as well. And, there's a real team spirit about the French, even though they're all battling for 3 Olympic places. Matteo Colsonet is making his way out there now as well. Look at the celebrations. They work as a unit. They train as a unit. And it's just going to show why the French are so strong in BMX right now.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but I didn't actually bother leaving enough space in my notes to write down which country they were going to come from. That was my prediction here today. What a race hit, and this was the fastest lap of the day.
Oh, Joris Dode, he's been absolutely on fire. Not only in the World Cup Series, but also in the USA BMX Pro Series as well. He doubled at Louisville just a couple of short weeks ago. And even though he's 32 years old, he's in the form of his career. He looks like he's 21 all over again. I'm sure there's days where he doesn't feel like he's 21. But Joris Dode is just riding so well. Sylvain Andre's just launched his helmet. I hope somebody caught it. But look at Joris Dode. Just taking the adulation of the fans.
And that was the start there. I mean, he came down there. It was so tight coming in there. I don't think you were talking. I think they breathed as they came in that first turn. And then as they came out, Dode was something else. And you did predict this. It wouldn't be the last time we heard the Marseillaise when they were singing earlier on. Well, we're going to hear it again.
Oh, such superb pictures. You know, the French, just as a country, are just dominating not only BMX racing, but there's other disciplines that they're dominating as well.
Yep.
And it's just the case, I think, of who's going to catch them going into Paris in 2024. But Joris Dode of France, congratulations. You have won round 6 of the UCI BMX World Cup, and thoroughly deserved. A superb performance. Raises that chase bicycle above his head. A great job from Joris.
And that makes it 3 wins for Joris Dode in the World Cup out of the 5 rounds that we've completed, out of the 6 rounds that were scheduled. And I make that now, don't ever trust my maths, but I make that I think he is now going to move into the lead. It's going to be very close on points. I can't wait to see those standings, but let's have the confirmed results first. A 31.2 second lap for Joris Dode, taking the fastest lap of the day from Andre Sylvain and Jeremy Rencarel. They are your top 3 here today. Arbolado was very close there. He was pushing all the way, and he couldn't make it, though, on to the podium, just pushed out. But I think we should hear from our race winner. Let's hear from Joris Dode of France on a home win in the World Cup.
Joris, many congratulations. That was a win celebrated by the whole crowd and the whole French team. What did it take to get this win today?
It takes a lot of hard work, you know, a lot of dedication, and yeah, I was able to put everything together today to grab the win, and so special here in France with the French people, and to be able to celebrate all together. So one of my, probably one of the highlights of my career today.
And not only the French crowd, but your young family, your wife were here. It's not often that happens. Extra special because of that.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's at the points of my career now, it's
They don't come pretty often, but I try to enjoy it as much as I can, and so special to have my family here and everybody to celebrate.
And I know that you're a man who always wants to win. It wasn't quite to be for you in Glasgow. How much does it mean to you to get back on the top of the podium now?
Yeah, you know, it's sometimes you have to get some setback and focus and get back to training and put it together and when it counts. And today I was able to do that, so I'm very happy.
Et maintenant, quelques mots en français pour le public ici sur la victoire d'aujourd'hui.
Merci à tous de nous avoir soutenus, vous avez été exceptionnels et j'espère qu'on vous a fait du plaisir et qu'on vous avez bien aimé la compétition. On se rejoint sur le podium.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Great to hear from Joris Dode there. And indeed, so much time you put in behind the scenes, that you work so hard. He says they don't come along often in his career. That's 3 this season.
Yeah, he's certainly doing a great job of it at 32 years old. He's had 5 USA BMX Pro titles as well in his career. I think Joris was just being slightly modest there in the fact that he doesn't come along very often, but certainly he's in the form of his lifetime, and it's a pleasure to watch. It really is.
Well, we're going to see him again very shortly as we bring our top 3 to the flower ceremony. Jeremy Rankerel, great move by him to come through to take that 3rd place from Arboleda. Sylvain Andre coming in, taking away 2nd place. A battle all the way to the line. He wanted top spot, and it wasn't to be. Joris Dode, your race winner. And doing that, setting the fastest lap time in the process. A French clean sweep of the podium. A 1, 2, 3 here today. And then they continue onwards. Great to see that he had his family here in the crowd watching as well. Great to hear that. And it's been really, amongst the great racing, it's been a day and a weekend of amazing fans, amazing crowd support. And it really has shown that I think France has got a lot of strong riders coming up in the future as well.
Oh, definitely. And as we go into Paris 2024, to be in the position that the French team are actually in, it couldn't be going any better for them. But I think what we've had here today at, the UCI BMX Racing World Cup is classic World Cup racing. Joris Dode there with the fastest lap time, 31.2. Stauffacher, 31.4 in the men under 23. Sayers, 33.89 in the women elite. And Michel Vissing, recording a 35.516. So those laps getting ever faster, but Joris Dode has certainly put it together today.
And only 0.2 from him to Stauffacher. That shows just how close those under 23s
Absolutely.
are. I mean, that is incredibly close, isn't it? 0.2. And the fastest lap of the day set in the finals as that competition just ramps up all the way through the day. I'm really looking forward to seeing what our riders do when they go across for round 7, 8, 9, and 10. All those rounds are going to be in Santiago del Estero in Argentina. And of course, it means that continuation of the series will see us watch the points evolve as well, because of course in those overall standings we see the points amassed throughout the season. So after the disappointment yesterday of not being able to race, and the disappointment of not racing the 5th round, round 6 has really delivered.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely delivered. 2 rounds worth of action, of shocks, of drama, of emotion, of storylines. It's been everything a World Cup BMX race should be, and it's happened in the heartland, I think, of BMX race in the south of France, certainly in Europe anyway. We've had glorious weather, we've had superb racing. It's been everything a BMX World Cup race should be, and if you're not a fan of BMX racing before this, you should be a fan after it.
And if you haven't been down to the side of the track, wherever your local track is, get down to the side of the track, get down, get on the track. The more riders, the more fans, the more spectators, the better it is for everybody. And I'll tell you something, if we thought the crowd were loud here today, they're going to be loud at Paris. But let's take a look back at today's racing here today from Rich and me. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Goodbye.